Hiya, my name is Aileen
And my name's Nellie.
and we've got a lovely song to share with you. It's called
The Song of Brigid's Cloak.
Now this is a song which was written by Catherine Ann Cullen for the Songs for Our Children project. And it tells one of the many great stories which are told about Brigid. Now Brigid is very much associated with County Kildare, but of course she's known very well all over Ireland. She's one of our patron saints. And her feast day is on the 1st of February. Nellie, what do we do every year for St Brigid's Day?
We collect the rushes and we make St Brigid's crosses.
We surely do, and I'm sure many of you do that as well. So maybe now next St Brigid's Day you'll have this song to sing as well. But of course you can sing it anytime you like. It's got a lovely story. So listen while we sing the first verse. Are you listening? Ready?
Yeah.
There was a wise woman, we're all agreed. Some call her Brigid, some call her Breed. She grew up kind and she liked a joke, and she always wore a wee small cloak. So here's how we're going to share it with you. You listen while I sing a line of the song, and then you sing it back along with Nellie. All right?
Yeah.
So listen first. There was a wise woman, we're all agreed.
There was a wise woman, we're all agreed.
Some call her Brigid, some call her Breed.
Some call her Brigid, some call her Breed.
She grew up kind and she liked a joke,
She grew up kind and she liked a joke.
and she always wore a wee small cloak.
And she always wore a wee small cloak.
Lovely. So look at, let's sing all that together, the whole verse. Are you ready? There was a wise woman, we're all agreed. Some call her Brigid, some call her Breed. She grew up kind and she liked a joke, and she always wore a wee small cloak. Next verse, so listen again to me. About 1500 years ago,
About 1500 years ago,
this strong young woman to Kildare did go.
this strong young woman to Kildare did go.
To build a church mid the common folk,
To build a church mid the common folk,
with her 4 best friends and her wee small cloak.
with her 4 best friends and her wee small cloak.
So let's put that verse together. About 1500 years ago, this strong young woman to Kildare did go. To build a church mid the common folk, with her 4 best friends and her wee small cloak. Listen again, you ready? Now the King of Leinster had fields galore,
Now the King of Leinster had fields galore.
so Brigid went knocking at his castle door.
So Brigid went knocking on his castle door.
Would you give us a field by the old oak tree,
Would you give us a field by the old oak tree,
to build a church for my friends and me?
to build a church for my friends and me?
Let's sing it. Now the King of Leinster had fields galore, so Brigid went knocking on his castle door. Would you give us a field by the old oak tree, to build a church for my friends and me? So I like this, the way there's a conversation in the song. It's Brigid talking to the King of Leinster. Listen to the next bit. Well, the mean old king, he gave a roar,
Well, the mean old king, he gave a roar,
saying, "What kind of fool do you take me for?"
saying, "What kind of fool do you take me for?"
'Cause nobody gets as rich as me
'Cause nobody gets as rich as me
by giving their fields to the poor for free.
by giving their fields to the poor for free.
Let's all sing that together. Well, the mean old king, he gave a roar, saying, what kind of fool do you take me for? 'Cause nobody gets as rich as me by giving their fields to the poor for free. So do you think that was the answer she wanted, Nellie?
No.
Wouldn't you think she'd be upset then? But Bridget had a plan up her sleeve. So Bridget smiled, would you grant instead?
So Bridget smiled, would you grant instead?
The land as far as my cloak will spread.
The land as far as my cloak will spread.
The king laughed loudly at her joke.
The king laughed loudly at her joke.
'Cause she wouldn't cover much with her wee small cloak.
'Cause she wouldn't cover much with her wee small cloak.
Let's sing it together. So Bridget smiled, would you grant instead? The land as far as my cloak will spread. The king laughed loudly at her joke, 'cause she wouldn't cover much with her wee small cloak. Listen again. To see how far the cloak would reach.
To see how far the cloak would reach.
Her four best friends took a corner each.
Her four best friends took a corner each.
When she shouted go, they all set forth.
When she shouted go, they all set forth.
Walking east and west and south and north.
Walking east and west and south and north.
Now let's sing that together. To see how far the cloak would reach, her four best friends took a corner each. When she shouted go, they all set forth, walking east and west and south and north. The king was so mad, he began to choke.
The king was so mad, he began to choke.
And out of his ears came puffs of smoke.
And out of his ears came puffs of smoke.
His mean old heart it nearly broke.
His mean old heart it nearly broke.
When he saw the measure of Bridget's cloak.
When he saw the measure of Bridget's cloak.
Let's put that together. The king was so mad he began to choke, and out of his ears came puffs of smoke. His mean old heart it nearly broke when he saw the measure of Bridget's cloak. So the king got a bit of a surprise, didn't he, Nellie?
Yeah.
What happened?
Bridget's cloak was so small, but it grew and grew.
It grew and grew, and it covered the whole of what is now the County Kildare. Isn't that a great story? So there's just one final verse, so listen again. But his heart was changed by Bridget's power.
But his heart was changed by Bridget's power.
And his men built her chapel with a tall bell tower.
And his men built a chapel with a tall bell tower.
Now they call it Kildare, the Church of the Oak.
Now they call it Kildare, the Church of the Oak.
On the land that was covered by Bridget's cloak.
On the land that was covered by Bridget's cloak.
So let's put those four lines together, the last verse. But his heart was changed by Bridget's power, and his men built her chapel with a tall bell tower. Now they call it Kildare, the church of the oak, on the land that was covered by Brigid's cloak. Did Catherine Ann do a great job to really tell the story so well in that song?
Yeah.
And the air that she put it to, because though the words are newly composed, it's an old traditional air. And Nellie, you know that song, don't you? What is it?
Mrs. McGrath.
It's quite a well-known song called Mrs. McGrath, and she used that air to give it a nice traditional style. So now we're going to sing the whole song through. Are you ready to sing with us? There was a wise woman, we're all agreed. Some call her Brigid, some call her Breed. She grew up kind and she liked a joke, and she always wore a wee small cloak. About 1500 years ago, this strong young woman to Kildare did go, to build a church mid the common folk, with her 4 best friends and her wee small cloak. Now the King of Leinster had fields galore, so Brigid went knocking on his castle door. Would you give us a field by the old oak tree, to build a church for my friends and me? Well, the mean old king, he gave a roar, saying, what kind of fool do you take me for? 'Cause nobody gets as rich as me by giving their fields to the poor for free. So Brigid smiled, would you grant instead the land as far as my cloak will spread? The king laughed loudly at her joke, 'cause she wouldn't cover much with her wee small cloak. To see how far the cloak would reach, her 4 best friends took a corner each. When she shouted go, they all set forth, walking east and west and south and north. The king was so mad he began to choke, and out of his ears came puffs of smoke. His mean old heart it nearly broke when he saw the measure of Brigid's cloak. But his heart was changed by Brigid's power, and his men built her chapel with a tall bell tower. Now they call it Kildare, the church of the oak, on the land that was covered by Brigid's cloak. So we hope you enjoyed singing that song with us, and we hope you had a great day for Crinnew na nÓg 2020. So from me, Aileen.
And me, Nellie.
Slán.